Supposing you want to transplant a delicate plant that you don't know much about, how do you try to ensure that it survives?
Are we talking about an annual or a perennial?
Perennial, because an annual is just visiting, an annual is like a tourist.
Funny. People come to me in spring and I want to give them plants. And they come out with a tiny little container. But I'm always ready with great big bags and boxes so they can take a lot of soil with them. You can't transplant successfully unless you take a lot of the soil they're used to along with them. Also, you have to think of how the plant is done where you have it. Maybe it didn't like the sun it got, or it was too shaded, or it was beside another plant that was taking over, or maybe it wasn't tall enough in its place, or it was too tall, or maybe it blossomed at the wrong time for the place it was in. So you wanted to put it in a different place so it could bloom there. There's all sorts of things you think about. Sometimes you have an invasive plant you try to get rid of, but you hate to throw anything away. So I put it along the fence in the alley.
It's a strong plant, and it wants to take over the world.
Very important also is to prepare the new bed and to water it well for a period of time. Regarding fertilizer, each plant is different in its needs. Certainly, you can use a transplanting root stimulator or chemical compound that encourages root growth, although you have to be careful that you don't give it too much.
It's undergoing a big shock after all.
Very important is to fertilize your plants so they'll grow big and strong. But if you try too hard to make them grow, you might make them die instead. Carrot, potato, viazi, carbonik, nderemia, kitunguu, avocado, machungwa, avocado, machungwa, mahindi, malimao, mihogo na matunda mengine. Furaha sana. Jamani, muone. Njooni tucheze wote. Tucheze. Dance. Leo ni siku ya furaha sana. Jamani, muone. Ni muhimu kuweka mbolea kwenye mimea yako. Ili yakue kubwa na yawe na nguvu. What a wonderful day it is. Look everyone, come and dance with me.
What about large trees? Describe how difficult it is to transplant a large tree as opposed to a small one or a sapling.
The root system in a large tree is just enormous. You wouldn't believe until you tried to move one of your own. Even a small elm has an amazing ability to dig down deep into the earth. It has a huge taproot, and if you try to get it out, you have to dig down and down because it's already started to implant itself forever.
Unless you have big money for a big dig and a truck to come in and take out an enormous amount of soil, forget it.
You can't transplant successfully unless you take a lot of the soil they used to along with them.
We were so happy for the opportunity to come here,
Each plant is different in its needs.
but it was hard at first.
The root system in a large tree is just enormous.
We had to leave our friends and most of our family behind. It will take time for me, but the children find it easier. I still miss some things about the old country.
It's much easier to transplant a young tree or sapling. Sometimes all you need do is stick a cutting in the ground and it will root.
What about growing herbs?
It's difficult to grow herbs in our climate. We're in zone 2 to 3, so they're hard to grow because our season is so short, and most herbs are sensitive to our cold weather. But there are a few hearty ones like dill, oregano, basil, chives, mint, summer savory,
cardamom, 2 cinnamon sticks, 3 bottles of red wine, 1 to 2 oranges, 1 to 2 lemons, 5 cloves, and then a Zuckerhut, or a German sugar cone. Den Rotwein erhitzen, aber nicht kochen lassen. Den Saft von Zitronen und Apfelsinen einrühren. Den Topf vom Feuer nehmen. Dann legt man die Feuerzange quer über den Topf und einen Zuckerhut hinein. Im abgedunkelten Zimmer gießt man nun langsam Rum über den Zuckerhut und hält gleichzeitig ein brennendes Streichholz daran. Wenn der meiste Zucker geschmolzen ist, kann man die heiße Bohle in Gläser füllen und das süß-fruchtige Aroma genießen. Every Christmas season, it's our tradition to celebrate with the Feuerzangenbowle. Jedes Jahr in der Weihnachtszeit zelebrieren wir unsere traditionelle Feuerzangenbowle. When the lights are out and there's only the flame from the rum-soaked cone of sugar, for that moment everything seems happy and warm and safe. Wenn das Licht ausgeschaltet ist und nur die Flammen über dem in Rum getränkten Zuckerhut brennen, das ist der Augenblick, in dem die Welt warm und zufrieden und sicher erscheint.
How do you decide where to plant things? Do you plan ahead?
Certainly one must consider the color combinations. You want colors that could complement each other. And another very serious consideration in placing certain plants next to each other is the aggressiveness of their root system, because they tend to compete. Ever notice how annuals don't have much of a root system, while perennials have vast root systems that sprout new plants quite distant from their mother plants? I'm always moving perennials in the spring. Sometimes, if they don't flower when I want them in that particular place in the garden during the winter, I plan where I want them the next spring.
It has become too dangerous to stay.
Some plants love it here, and some love it there, and I have to figure out where the best spot for them is.
We need to get out of here.
Get them moved before they start their growth, and try them in a new spot if the old spot didn't work. And another very serious consideration is the aggressiveness of their root system, because they tend to compete.
It's too dangerous to stay here.
I wasn't sure.
Опасно оставаться. Надо оставить ее. Ужасное место. Движение. Run, Christa, this way.
Dar vreau să fie familia.
Здесь слишком опасно
Să fiu în acest aștept. Este însă așa de departe.
I can't understand a word you're saying.
Sometimes, when people don't understand each other, if they play music together, they become friends. It is much like a beautiful garden where all the plants complement each other. The colors, the height, the timing of the blooming. The best gardens seem to have sprung from nature without the hand of man. As if they just happened to come together in that perfect harmony. A garden that's just been planted in the spring needs time to flower and thrive. takes time for a garden to grow and thrive.
A beautiful garden takes a lot of work. We gardeners garden all year round, even if it's just in our minds. We're always wondering what we'll plant the next year. We love to look at seed catalogs. What will we order? What will grow?
Sometimes my transplants seem not to be doing well. They don't bloom, they lose their leaves, they wilt, so I think they're going to die.
You'll find that quite often with perennials, most of their energy is going into the root system. Annuals don't have much of a root system, you see. All their energy goes into seeds for reproduction because their entire life cycle occurs in only one season. But perennials need more time to become established.
So how long should I wait before I give up on the plant?
It's difficult to know. Gardeners have to be patient and perseverant. Your plants can look rough for a couple of seasons, and all you can do is wait and see. And suddenly one spring, they come up and are flourishing. Then you know that the transplantation is successful.
Yes, the people here are so warm. I would like to stay here.
It's so cold here. Sometimes I wonder how anything can grow.
The people here are warm. They are warm from within.
People here are warm. They are warm from within.
Cold hands, warm heart, I always say.
Leo ni siku ya furaha sana. Jamani muone. Tucheze.
I would like to stay here.